Hey everybody, welcome back to another session of Selling, Negotiating, and Winning, session number 6. And in this session, I want to talk about win-win opportunities. A lot of people think that when you're negotiating with somebody, you have to get over on them or you have to screw them over, you got to do this, and you got to be a little less than upfront and honest. In fact, sometimes when people are negotiating, it gets downright shady. That's not what this is about. It's about win-win negotiating. It's about when you're on the other side of the table from somebody, you want to make them feel like they got something out of the deal too. So it's about win-win opportunities. So after you decide what you want and you ascertain what they want, then that's the starting place. What you want, maybe you write this down. What do you want and what are you willing to give up? Write those things down on a piece of paper prior to going into the negotiation. So you have what you want and you have what you want to be able to give up. So it's kind of like a chess game at that point. Who makes the first move? Do you make the first move and make for the first ask? Or do you let them make the first move and they are the ones that have the ask up front? Okay, so it's like a chess game. You want to move first or do you want to move second? I prefer to almost always move second. I let them ask. I want to maybe get some information about their position, about their interest. So I let them ask first. What do they want first? And then that puts me in a power position where I can say yes or no. Or I can say, if I do this, will you do that? So you never ever give up something without getting something. Never. If I do this for you, would you be willing to do this for me? So never ever give up something that they want without getting something in return. Even if it's small, get something in return, because that sets some psychological boundaries of how this is going to go down, how this negotiation is actually going to work. So never ever give up something without getting something. And that gives you leverage. Leverage is key. You know, Donald Trump said that even a little guy can hit a home run if he uses the right leverage. Leverage in a negotiation or in a situation like that is key. Let me give you an example. I built car washes with a partner and I. We built some car washes, and we found this great piece of land, and it was right next to a Kmart. It was at a very busy intersection. Perfect place to put a car wash. The opposition or the obstacle we had to overcome was the fact that this piece of land was 4 little lots that a little old lady, literally little old lady, owned. And she had 4 houses that she was going to put on these lots, where they were building lots. So we went in and we talked to her about putting all 4 of those lots together, and we'll take all 4 because that's the size of the lots we needed to build the car wash. So we went into this operation. She gets to have all 4 lots sold at the same time. So she's making money on all 4 lots, and we get a big piece of property, which is not, it was very hard to find a piece of property in that neighborhood. So it was a win-win. She got what she wanted, and we got what we wanted. Now, in order for us to buy all 4 lots, we negotiated with her that she would give us a certain price. It was like $47,500 in that neighborhood, and we would put $7,000 down. She would carry the $40,000 balance on a balloon payment in 6 months, which would give us time to get the zoning, get the car wash up and running and built, and get it transferred over to a commercial loan. So it was a win-win. She got to sell all 4 lots. We got a big piece of property, and we didn't just stop there. We negotiated terms, and we negotiated the way that the whole deal would go down with this little old lady. So we ended up getting that piece of property on a balloon note. Before the balloon note came due, we actually flipped that piece of property and somebody else built a car wash on it. So understand how to be in the offensive position and the defensive position. When you're in the offensive position, you're giving something away, but you're going to want something in return. So the offense, and then you're going to have to play a little defense. Understand those positions. I'll give you another example. Win-win negotiating is when everybody's happy at the end of the day. I had a friend of mine who was going through a divorce, so he was unloading some properties. So he called me one day and said, hey, I've got this piece of property, I got this house, it's a little 3-bedroom, just regular everyday house. He said, would you like to buy it and use it as a rental? I said, okay, I'll look at it. Well, I went over to look at it, and it was a mess. The people that were renting it still lived there. The little old lady that was there, this lady was actually asleep in the recliner when I did my visit. It was just a mess. So I looked at my buddy Tim and I said, I can't do this, man. I don't see the value here. So I passed on it. A few weeks later, he called me and said, hey, the people are out. Take another look at it. So I went back over, took another look. It was a different kind of deal because the family was all out, the furniture was out. You could see what you actually could have. So I bought that house and ended up taking it, put new siding on it, I put new carpet in it, I put new flooring, I put new cabinets in it, and I turned around and sold that house that I bought for $40,000. Again, I bought it creatively. I paid Tim like a little money down, $2,000 or $3,000 down, and had a balloon note at 6 months. Well, I ended up flipping that house and sold it for like $80,000. So by the time I put $15,000 into it, I made somewhere around the neighborhood of $30,000, something like that. So it wasn't a bad deal, but it was a win-win. He needed to get rid of the property because if he didn't, his wife was going to take it in a divorce settlement. So he was happy to get rid of it. I was happy to get it and then turn around and flipped it. So always try to get the win-win. Solutions are good for both parties. They're not just for one party or the other. People think that when you negotiate, you have to end up screwing the other person. You really, really don't. On the land, when we built the car wash, Gladys got what she wanted. Tim got what he wanted when we flipped that house. If you're going to be in a win-win, never make a straight offer. Never make it a straight offer like, I'll offer you, $50,000, because that puts you in a position where whoever you're negotiating with is going to say no. And then what happens? If you ever watch American Pickers, these guys are good negotiators, but they get screwed a lot because they'll throw a number out, and you notice there's always in that show, there's always a battle who's throwing out the first number. So what happens is they throw out the first number, the guy, let's say they're buying a tractor, and Mike says, well, I'll give you $10,000. Now the ball's now in the seller's court, and he's going to say, no, I'm going to need 15. And then they haggle, and they usually meet somewhere in the middle. So by throwing that first number out is usually a mistake. Trying to ascertain what they want gives you the upper hand, because then you have the opportunity as the negotiator to say, no, I can't do that, but I can do this. And then you meet somewhere in the middle and everybody's happy. So, creativity is a key to win-win negotiating. It's all about the creativity, putting the deal together, putting the 4 lots together to make one piece of property that we needed. Those are the kinds of deals you want to put together. Win-win. Next session, we'll talk more about win-win, and we'll see you back here on Selling, Negotiating, and Winning.